Hello and welcome to Who Are You? This is a Babylon 5 watchcast hosted by two former strangers, now friends, who've gotten to know each other while rewatching a favorite show from their childhood, Babylon 5. I'm Xhafer.
And I'm Laura.
And today, Laura, I'm going to ask you who or what or where, I guess, is the one? So if this is your first time hearing this, this is a bit we do in our season recap episodes where we'll ask each other what is the one thing right now. We do it for seasons of the show, but, we ran out of big stuff to talk about, so we're getting to know each other through some of the smaller things now.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you, Laura, what is a recent band or album, the one recent band or album that you've just been jamming to?
Well, I am famously a late bloomer when it comes to popular music.
Okay.
I don't get into something until years after it's been well established and
Nothing wrong with that.
popular in the zeitgeist even. Yeah. My husband makes fun of me because I'm so behind. I'll be like, "Oh, this is a cool song. It's the first time I've heard it. It's really new." And he's like, "No." This is from 10 years ago, So I'm always really behind. I think the most recent band that I've been consistently jamming to is Panic at the Disco.
Okay.
I really like Brendan Urie's voice. It's Brendan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy his voice. He seems very classically trained, incredibly talented. I think I saw a video, maybe it was for Jimmy Fallon, the night show, where he did during the quarantine, he did a song of theirs maybe and played all of the instruments in it and did all of the voice parts by himself and recorded every single thing. It was amazing. He's just an incredibly talented person.
He's got a solo album that's really good, if you haven't listened to that yet.
Oh, I don't think I have. I'll have to look that up now.
It's from maybe 5-6 years ago, I want to say.
I'm a little late to it, but better late than never, right?
Yeah, for sure.
What about you? What's an album or band that's your jam?
I've got two albums that I've been listening to a bunch lately. I've been listening to RTJ4 by Run the Jewels a ton lately. And then I've been listening to We're All Gonna Live from Dawes.
Okay, because I'm perpetually behind. I have no idea who these people are.
Okay, so Run the Jewels is a rap supergroup of Killer Mike and ELP.
Okay.
LP. I think it's LP. I forget if it's a capital L or not. Anyways, they are incredible. If you listen to any kind of rap at all, they are very, very good. They are very clever and very funny, but also very political.
Go figure. Xhafer liking someone who's very political.
And then Dawes, I don't know that Dawes has ever been a big band. I feel like you could say Run the Jewels and outside to a crowd of 10 people, and you'll get 4 or 5 people who know who Run the Jewels are. Dawes is, I don't think, a band like that. They're not small by any means. I mean, they tour the country and do the thing and have a ton of albums. We're All Gonna Live is their live album that they did from their tour from the album We're All Gonna Die. So it's a fun little pun. We're all gonna live. We're all gonna live.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like a greatest hits for them from their first couple of albums. I do like their more recent stuff as well. It's just that album has always just been, I don't know. It's one of those albums that I will come back to every couple of years and listen to a ton for a month. And I'm there right now.
Yeah, I do that too. I'll get just kind of stuck on an album for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then I kind of associate it with a time in my life sometimes about things that were happening.
I have a set of numerical playlists on Spotify that's just playlist 1, playlist 2, playlist 3. And I'm on 30 right now. And these go back 20 years.
Dang.
And so I have kind of these capstones where it's this was my podcast at this time. Or no, not my podcast, but my playlist at this time.
Yeah.
That was just instantly transport. I can throw one on from I have playlists that I turned into burned CDs to listen to in the car in high school still and stuff. So I can just put on, some of that stuff and just be instantly transported back to riding shotgun in my best friend's car on the way to school or certain parts of college or travel You know, like whenever I hear Youth Without Youth by Metric, I remember flying over Lake Michigan on a work trip because that was the first time I heard that song. So I totally vibe with that. I have a lot of musical ties to specific experiences or times of my life.
Yeah, it's amazing the feelings that you'll have drug back up
Yeah.
from those songs or just from that album.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. I'm sure there's a psychology paper about it or something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I would like to know, what is the one best app that you've been using? Like on your phone or a tablet or something to make your life easier or that you've been enjoying?
I recently set up my own Jellyfin media box.
Oh, tell me what this is.
It's basically my own in-house streaming service.
Oh, I think you were telling me about this last week off pod.
Yes, because I right now it is closed network. It's only available in my house, but
Mm-hmm.
I do have the intention of putting it on a outside network at some point so that you can watch Third Space and In the Beginning and Crusade and all of these things that
Yeah.
you don't have access to anymore from Babylon
Yeah.
5.
I think some of the movies might be available on iTunes, but I'm not sure about Crusade.
Lost Tales is available on Vudu, but that's
Okay.
it. Some of the stuff's really hard to come by. And
Yeah.
honestly, it was talking to Yum Yum about their DVD backups and stuff, and I'm just all like, I want that, but I hate I hate moving physical media around.
Mm-hmm.
But I have digital backups of like every DVD that I owned for a very long time, which ended up being fortuitous because my DVD collection went missing in college at some point.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do have like backups of all of these things that I've purchased that are shows that you just can't get anymore, or at least couldn't get for a while. Clone High was like one of the things I would go back to and watch back
Yeah.
before that was readily available again. So yeah, that's probably the top of my list right now because it's getting a ton of use, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm watching random odds and ends that I have saved that just you can't get streaming anymore.
Sounds very useful.
Yeah, how about you?
Speaking of useful, I guess, I probably get the most use out of the Notability app. I don't
I'm
know if
not
you're familiar
familiar.
with this one. Okay, it's just a notes taking app, but it has lots of like options for different templates. You can have your
Mm-hmm.
ruled paper, you can have your grid paper, you can have a planner, you can have recipe cards, like lots of different options for taking notes. You can either write it and have it transformed into type text,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just write if you prefer. I do a lot of writing in different colors when I'm taking notes, especially for our show,
Okay.
because it'll just make a joke stand out within the text of just what's happening in the scene.
Yeah.
Or it helps my brain process stuff to use different colors while I'm taking my notes. I remember stuff a lot better. I don't know why that is. There's probably another psychology paper about that one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you got something that works for you. I indent a lot in my notes.
Uh-huh, yeah, me too.
Like my default on my handwritten notes is tabbed in twice so that I can go
Uh-huh.
back and do stuff and
Yeah.
make notes in that margin space.
Yeah, that's smart.
All right, so I mentioned Jellyfin and having the media server set up at home. Part
Mm-hmm.
of that is I've set up a gym downstairs.
Ooh.
So I've got a little like cheapy projector and my old sound bar, and it's in my basement. I've got some cardio down there set up. Got a rower
Nice.
and a bike, and I've been spending time. I've been trying to get more exercise. I have not been able to throw disc golf for a couple of weeks because I actually tore my bicep.
Aw, what a
Um,
shame. I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm okay now. I
Uh-huh.
could go throw now, but it's been thunderstorming for days. And also,
Right.
we have all of the smoke from the wildfires here in Michigan.
I've
So
heard about that. I'm so sorry.
I couldn't walk. Like, I'd put a mask on to walk outside. I couldn't see down my street. It was so bad.
Wild.
We
Yeah.
had some of the worst air quality in the country here for several days. And
Mm-hmm.
so it healed up just in time for me to not be able to leave my house. So this next
Mhm.
week, probably. But yeah, so I've been trying to get workouts downstairs in that gym. And do you have a like good TV or movie to just like get on the bike and just like watch while you're doing something?
That is a great question. For me, and this was probably not a useful recommendation to you, but for that particular purpose, like whenever I'm on a treadmill or a bike or something
Mm-hmm.
exercising, I usually go with one of the 90s era Star Treks just because I can kind of slip into my like feelings of nostalgia and dissociate from being exercising a little bit.
Okay.
And it's that, or, if I need a shorter workout session, I'm not going to want to go for the full like 45 minutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I might do one of the, humorous cartoons like a Lower Decks or a Futurama, or even just like The Simpsons. It's something I don't necessarily need to like pay attention to.
Okay.
But will like cheer me up enough that I'm not bummed about being exercising.
So Beth and I have been watching Succession while working out.
Okay.
Which is
How's
like
that?
the exact opposite of the thing you're talking about.
Yeah, because I hear that one's like intense, right?
It's intense. It's an HBO drama about rich people, and it just gets me very frustrated. So it's good for working out, I find.
Oh yeah, you gotta get your emotions up a little bit.
Yeah.
Have a little like rage exercise.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. That's interesting. So is that your recommendation? Do you think I should try that out, or do you have something else?
It works for me.
Okay. Well, I want to know, so after you've been working out, and I don't know about in Michigan, but it is hot as hell here in Oklahoma. And it probably will be until October.
Out right now.
Are you serious?
Yep.
There are places in the world where it's like that right now? Oh my God.
I mean, it's raining, but yes.
I'd take it, my man. I'm ready.
It was the lowest 68 and the highest 77 here today.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll put a pin in that. But if you've been working out, you're hot and sweaty, and it's summertime, maybe it's hot outside. I don't know. What is the one best summer drink that you want right now?
Right now, I've been going for a gin and tonic.
Okay.
Splash of lime. Nice floral gin. Not just like a Tanqueray or a Bombay or something, but something that's got a little bit more of a complex flavor profile.
Yeah.
But when it gets hotter, mojito.
Oh, yes. I love a mojito.
Yeah, a mojito on a hot day. The lime and mint. Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. I would say that, I'm obviously not drinking alcohol for a while.
Yes.
At this moment. Got reasons for that. But I really enjoy like an infused water right now.
Okay.
Like cucumber or lemon. I actually, for most of my life, have not been a person who prefers ice in my drinks.
Okay.
But since I was pregnant last year, I really, really want my drink to be cold. So a nice ice cold, like infused water, or maybe a lemonade. But I don't like plain lemonade. I want you to put some in it. Like give me some other flavors.
Okay.
Like some strawberries, some raspberry.
Yeah.
Peach.
All right. Well, it's nice to get to know you a little bit better. We have to figure out an end to this segment at some point.
What's the... I'm trying to segue the one into this episode, and it's so hard.
Yeah, you can't.
We'll figure it out one day. Next time. Stay tuned.
Well, yeah, we'll get there eventually. But for right now, we're just going to go right into Season 4, Episode 10, Racing Mars. We open in Sheridan's office, with supply shortage being the issue. Ivanova tells John she's going to handle dealing with the smugglers, and then relieves him of duty.
Yeah, that's cute.
He hasn't had a day off in 9 months. The whole war, dying, and she's like, you're going to take a few days while it's quiet. He then asks about Stephen and Marcus and if we've heard from them before walking out. We go to a cargo freighter where the worst game of I Spy is happening.
Yeah, Marcus is still trying to make this trip interesting.
M for more boxes was pretty good.
E for even more boxes was quite cute.
Yeah. And Marcus grabs a dude to theme. We get a short introduction to Captain Jack. This is Donovan Scott. Course. Donovan Scott has had a very successful career playing one person in particular.
Really?
Yeah, one character in many different forms continuously throughout his career.
This is a type of person. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me which person this is.
Santa Claus. He's got like 19 IMDb credits for playing Santa Claus or Santa or Kris Kringle or Mr. Winter.
How funny. How many of these are on Lifetime, I wonder?
I'm guessing a handful of them looked like made for TV movies. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's fun. I mean, he's a very fun bit part in this episode.
Yeah. He knows the key to Franklin's heart. Food.
Yeah, Franklin is a simple man.
Marcus tries to put an end to this, but yeah, it's like potatoes.
To be fair, I would probably have the same reaction to potatoes if I had been eating protein bars for who knows how long.
So I recently found a YouTube channel called like Ration Swap that takes active military people from different allied countries and has them trade rations.
Oh, interesting.
And I can see why, like, you know, they're traveling with like protein bars and like survival food that they could take a ton of. And then he's got like these big old bags and stuff. And it reminds me a lot of like the American rations compared to the Italian rations.
Yeah. I bet European militaries have some significantly better rations than Americans.
Yeah, the Italian rations are like, here's your can of ravioli and stuff. And, you know,
and your little juice box of wine.
Yeah, right? Well, yes. There's a lot of stuff like that. Chocolates with every meal, little stuff like that. And it's just like, but it's also 4 times the size of an American ration.
Yeah.
So.
I could see that. Yeah, Captain Jack has the good stuff. But Marcus is not going to be swayed by food. Yeah. He's not going to potentially give up the whole game just because this guy has the good snacks.
Yep. We see Sheridan in his quarters attempting a staycation. So he's going to watch some TV, but he only gets one channel, and it's ISN, and they're just repeating their Babylon 5 podcast. They make a note of it there that it's like, for our friends in this sector, another repeat of this broadcast.
This is not healthy, right?
No.
He needs to go get out Everdell or something. This is not a good use of his time.
He's got a fucking fleet. He's got White Stars. Grab Delenn, get on a ship, go literally anywhere.
Yeah. Do not rewatch this. Do not hate watch the Garibaldi interview over and over.
Yeah. Go check out the Vorlon homeworld now that it's empty or some shit. I don't know. You got options.
Yeah. This is a bad choice. And it leads to more bad choices because he goes looking for Mr. Garibaldi.
Yeah. Garibaldi makes him look like a real asshole here.
Yeah. He played right into his hands.
He did.
Kind of unfortunate.
Sheridan basically tells him his oath never ends, and Garibaldi's like, fuck you. This is the exact kind of thing that made me leave. They get into a yelling match, and after it's over, the camera pans up and we see the Cure looking on from a distance.
Yeah, all of this stuff with Garibaldi really kind of hits a really uncomfortable note for me. I'm sure it does for you too, because how much of it are you wondering is sort of like Jerry Doyle's points that he makes later, maybe in some of his work after this.
I mean, the fact that our one character becomes a conservative talk host is also brainwashed is not lost on me.
Yeah. The whole, in this scene, I think he brings up the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
So aren't you fighting for freedom of speech?
Yeah.
Okay, my dude.
Yeah, it seems a little much, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. Garibaldi doth protest too much.
Yep. Captain Jack reveals himself as the resistance contact. What the hell is this passphrase?
I know, right?
Lita had a little Vorlon. This is fucking weird and rude. This is incredibly rude to Lita. This was upsetting.
Yeah. And haven't we used Mary Had a Little Lamb in something with telepaths before?
Did we? I don't remember.
I think we did. I think there was the scene we're dealing with the resistance, the underground.
Oh, with Talia forever ago?
The underground that's trying to escape, I think, and they're repeating Mary Had a Little Lamb, I think, to keep themselves from giving away secrets if they're pressed.
Mm.
Like they're gonna just use that as their mantra. So maybe this is kind of calling back to that because we're mentioning Lita. But yeah, this is a weird thing.
Yeah, I was kind of just squigged out by this.
Yeah. Anytime you like use a nursery rhyme in these sort of contexts, it's a little squicky, right?
Yeah. And then like, this is your friend?
Mm-hmm.
Also,
she helped you. She was like instrumental.
Yeah, right? You're not win this war without her.
Right.
Anyways, Captain Jack tells them all their cover story. They're a young married couple on their honeymoon, and Marcus is just fucking delighted about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is... I like that we're not playing this, because this was the 90s, right? This could have been played as, ew, gross.
Someone actually asked JMS about this. I remind me to not talk about this again later, because it's in my notes later. But he's just like, once humanity found aliens, something as trivial as sexual orientation as a way to other just stopped being a concern. It's just not an issue for humanity in the future. And I'm all like, cool, I'm glad it's not an issue for humanity in the future. And I unfortunately have to nod my head and agree that it's probably because it's a lot easier to other when there's aliens and to stop doing it with humans.
Yeah, this is a real big moment, considering some of the recent events revolving the Supreme Court.
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just going to use your classic Xhafer.
That's fair. Go for it.
Yeah, this is real cute. Couldn't decide if I was disappointed or impressed that we didn't get the like obligatory scene you probably would have gotten in the 90s media at this point of them like trying to sell it to someone like at the hotel or, security somewhere on Mars.
Yep.
These identities as married people.
It's
I was like, am I disappointed that I don't get to see it? Huh?
It's not a thing because it's not a thing.
Yeah. No, I mean trying to sell themselves as someone else.
Yeah.
Like as these married people. Not that,
Okay.
that they had to sell like
I got
being gay is unusual. The two of them being a couple when they have their past that we know all about.
They have a lot of fun with it. I'm
do.
sure the actors had a lot of fun with it too. I'm sure that was a lot of fun on set. After this, Garibaldi can't remember if it's Monday, so he can fall apart. Tuesday, Wednesday break is... Actually, now that we get a better look at these guys, they really have a whole Smiths thing going on.
See, I think of them as Depeche Mode. They certainly have a look, though, don't they?
Yeah.
They are not inconspicuous on this station. They should really work on that. They've got a strong brand.
Yeah. Night Watch 2.0 here tries to get Garibaldi to sign up. And he might be pissed at John, but he's not about to sell him out.
Yet.
After this, Captain Jack relays some rumors about Babylon 5 to Marcus and Franklin, including them simultaneously being conquerors of Mars, and also, fuck it, we're just leaving the Resistance alone.
I like that I got my confirmation that, yes, pretty much the solar system, our solar system, does not know about the Shadow War.
Yeah.
We had, I think, 2 episodes ago, maybe? I had asked, do they know? And it's confirmed, canon here, that no, they do not.
Yeah. Yeah, Captain Jack's like, what war? We don't get P-10 on Mars. We do get some good fun between Marcus and Franklin here. Back on the station, Ivanova meets with smugglers in an attempt to get them to go legit. She offers them fighter escorts, maintenance, fuel costs, repairs, and also not getting blown up by Babylon 5.
Speaking of good fun,
Carrot
Ivanova is
stick.
good fun in this scene. I love that she specifically lists their crimes and touches each of them.
Yeah.
When discussing their crimes and their, like, what they're wanted for specifically by EarthGov. She's very good at making it clear that they really should consider this opportunity very seriously.
Yeah. When they're going through stuff, one of them asks, when they're talking about the clean slate, one of them's all like, does that include for that shipment that made Garibaldi lose his hair?
I'm a little disappointed that we had to, like, give an explanation for why Garibaldi went bald. I mean, can't a man just go bald?
I mean, he was clearly on his way there, but this is fun. Captain Jack takes Franklin and Marcus through some old mines to meet with the resistance leaders when they got to commercial. When we come back, we find out that these people are the Resistance and are checking them out. We find out the Texas Rangers are still culturally relevant somehow.
Of course. If anyone's going to be standing the test of time, it's going to be those Texas Rangers, right?
Yep, for sure. We get number 2 here, played by Clayton Landy. He's a real that guy, and he gives Marcus shit for his Minbari warpike. He says there's 2 types of people, the suspicious and the dead. I initially read this as the only people that survive are the people who cast suspicion, not are suspicious themselves.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I'm just all like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. Those are the people that would get, wait, no, like my brain like had to go on a whole trip for that sentence to make sense.
It's kind of a survival of the fittest thing.
Yeah.
Point that he's making.
I got there. It just took time.
Yeah.
Transmissions are being jammed all over the place. So it's going to be a long time to verify their IDs and make sure that they're not assassins.
Yeah, because they've had rumors that there might be assassins on their way.
Delenn goes to John and talks him through his encounter with Garibaldi. She notes he's got the day, so hey, maybe one of these Minbari courting rituals we can get through. He's like, how many are there?
Well, now it's time for the sex ritual.
Yeah. Yes, the ritual of discovering each other's pleasure centers.
Maybe the threshold even.
Yeah. Yeah, once he finds out it's the booty call ritual, he's in.
Yeah. He's down.
Back on Mars, Captain Jack shows Franklin a picture of his daughter, and Creepfest McGee here is just like, she's gorgeous. Just turned 18 2 days ago.
I wouldn't be handing this to Franklin then.
Right. It's like, oh, maybe
here's her
Marcus.
Address.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Captain Jack mentions come again from Dayneb 4 when number 2 marches in. Their identicards are bunk, and he thinks they're assassins. Number 1 jumps in as Jack starts pulling at his shoulder and backs off. Franklin notices something is going on. He saves number 1 as Marcus shoots the keeper off of Captain Jack's shoulder.
Yeah, he's got one of them little aliens.
He does.
Like poor Regent Verini.
Franklin does get a chance to perform an autopsy on the keeper, and due to its biology is able to determine its basic function, controlling the hosts. Franklin notes some of his erratic behaviors align with Jack trying to warn them without being able to tell them directly. Jack escaped and has taken a grenade with him. Number 1 calls him, and Jack explains that they always grow back, and he blows himself up rather than give himself up to its control again.
That is a very key point, isn't it?
They always
grow back.
Yep.
Seems like it could be a problem.
Over on the station, Garibaldi finishes a deal with Anthony Kiedis as Sheridan comes back in to apologize, as the Prekiri comes up and asks for a blessing. JMS noted on the Usenet that he got a little flack for the he's not the Pope, he looks nothing like her line.
My husband immediately said, that'll never happen. It's like, they'll never let that happen. I was like, okay.
Maybe in 200
You're probably
years.
not wrong. Right.
He ends up punching Sheridan, and the apology does not work out.
Important question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think Depeche Mode set this up?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
They paid this lady.
Yeah, this is Morrissey's work. Hands down.
Yeah.
So Sheridan is all worked up now and goes to Delenn's quarters to find a bunch of Minbari there.
Man, you're all worked up. You just had a fight with your best buddy. It's all over. Need to get some feelings out. Go see your girlfriend. And she's got a bunch of people over.
Yep. They're there for
a bunch of
show. Yep.
A bunch of relatives.
Oh
boy.
No, thanks.
The Minbari just know how to kill the fun out of anything, don't they?
The Minbari just like to watch. All right. That's their thing.
I mean, maybe it is more fun for them. I don't
know. After the sex, Sheridan shares an elevator with Lanier, who gives him shit for exclaiming woohoo at some point.
I would say this is some very deserved shit.
Sheridan canonically has the worst pillow talk of any character in Babylon 5.
For real. Woohoo. Oh my God. No.
Can you imagine?
That'd be I'd be like, and this is over.
It was a good run. It's done now. Back on Mars, Marcus bros out and dips out so Franklin and number one can have dinner together. Over on the station, there's a light that never goes out as the Smiths roll up on Garibaldi, who hopes that a double-decker bus hits Sheridan. He signs up to credits.
Yep.
All right, Laura, how do you feel about this one?
You know, I had a little more fun with this one than the last one.
Yeah.
I love Mars. I love any time we're doing something on Mars. I don't know why. It's just intriguing to me. I love that we got some more lore about the Keeper.
Yeah.
Very, very interested in those Keepers. Ratcheting the stakes up a little bit, too, with them, in that we've been told they always grow back.
Yep.
Seems problematic.
Seems like an issue.
I don't love where we're going with sending Franklin off with number one. I feel like that could get a little more Franklin romancy. Not into it. But I think overall, whereas last episode I was, ready to give it a 2 until I was charmed into it. For me, this is a solid episode of Babylon 5. Like, yeah. It's definitely a solid 3 for me. Just that it's kind of on that average, but it's doing all the things that I love from Babylon 5.
For sure.
What about you? What do you think?
I'm right there. I put this as a 4 out of 5. And
maybe I should bump this to 3.5. I don't know.
It's a really good episode.
Solid. Yeah.
But it is not an episode that I would ever watch outside of a full series rewatch.
Oh, yeah. There's so much that's continuous, right?
Yeah.
It's you've got to use it in the context of everything that's around it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it definitely exists where it's supposed to exist and couldn't do anything else. And I don't, like I said, it's not one that I'd ever just like, oh, I'm going to throw that episode on. But it is a very good episode.
Yeah. Even the stuff with Sheridan and Garibaldi, that I don't love the conflict between Sheridan and Garibaldi because I don't want to see my friends fighting.
Yeah.
But it is very well done and it does what it's supposed to do. It makes you mad.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, next time we've got season 4, episode 11, Lines of Communication. Delenn meets the Drox for the first time. Earth continues to report propaganda about Babylon 5, but Sheridan prepares a counterattack. Franklin and Marcus rally support on Mars. Delenn gives sad news to Sheridan.
That's a lot of things. Again.
Yeah, it's a lot. The Drox are a big deal. So,
yeah.
Good to see them finally
I didn't know we were
in.
going to encounter them so soon.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll go over all of that next time. But in the meantime, thank you, Jeremy Siegel, for our theme music. You can find more of Jeremy's work at jeremysiegel42.bandcamp.com. And also on streaming platforms has Nuclear Jaguar.
And thank you to Angry Duck Time Machine on Instagram for our podcast artwork.
Thank you, Aaron, for editing our podcast and making sure that it is listenable. Really appreciate you.
And thank you to you, the listener, for being here with us. We really enjoy having you. We'd love to talk to you on the Discord. Or if you're not a Discord person, you can always email us at whoareyoub5@gmail.com and hit us up on Facebook or Twitter.
All right. Well, we'll see you next week, Internet. Take care.
Bye.